What's up everybody, and welcome back to another seifbuys video. I'm Saif, and today I wanted to give you a quick breakdown here between the PlayStation Portal and the PlayStation licensed backbone controller. This backbone for your phone is intended for you to just simply put your phone in there, play PlayStation Remote Play, and stream your games from your PlayStation wherever you are. It turns on your PlayStation when you click on the PS Remote Play app, and you're streaming your games. Same with the PlayStation Portal, except here you don't need to use your phone. You just got an inbuilt screen, and you got a controller that's pretty much the DualSense controller with a screen slapped in the middle. There's pros and cons to each of these. I personally wasn't sold on either of these or PlayStation Remote Play in general before I bought them. However, I heard Flossie Carter say in his review that playing in bed is a major W or something to that effect. So I bought it, and yeah, playing in bed is a game changer. Having this available, either of these available in my house, has allowed me to play games more frequently. And this is from someone who always has access to his TV and his monitor because I live alone. There's no issues there with me getting access to that, but being able to play this in bed. I have finished God of War. I've pretty much progressed intensely on GTA 5, whereas I had never got anywhere near finishing it before. I'm planning on playing Red Dead Redemption as well. I'm just going to get caught up on all my video games, Spider-Man, etc, etc. This is allowing me to do that because a lot of the times in bed is a major key moment to catch up on your video games if you can't sleep. The decision between these two is clear-cut. You want portability, you go with the backbone. You want an experience that is as close to playing on your couch on your PlayStation as possible, you go with the PlayStation Portal. You want to play primarily outside your home, you go with the backbone. You want to play primarily inside the home, you go with the PlayStation Portal. PlayStation Portal is about double the price of the backbone, and that's because the backbone is simply a controller and your phone does the heavy lifting. But by doing so, it's occupying your phone, and so anytime you get a notification or you want to take a call or anything like that, you basically have to exit the app and then reconnect. And it does that pretty quickly, right? Like within 3 seconds you can reconnect to the PlayStation and like play if you have a good connection. But that's a big thing. You don't have access to your phone when you're playing on the backbone, whereas you do if you're playing on your PlayStation Portal. Those are the main deciding factors. So you want to play on the go, definitely go with the Portal. You'll have your phone on you almost all the time. This is like nothing. You get for this $20-30 case with it. You slap it in there, you put it in your jacket pocket, boom, you're gone. You always have your phone, you always have your AirPods or whatever truly wireless buds, so you're ready to game wherever you're going. And you're not limited to just PlayStation Remote Play. You can play your iPhone games, you can play iPhone games offline, you don't need to be connected to the internet. You can play Xbox Remote Play games on your phone as well. You're not just limited to PlayStation. For me, that's not really a W. I only play PlayStation games, and I barely have time to catch up with my PlayStation games, yet alone to start playing random games as well. Alright guys, and before I forget, I just wanted to also add that there's this option here, so a $15 accessory. I'll link it in the description, where you can just attach it to your regular DualSense controller, connect your DualSense via Bluetooth to your phone, open the PS Remote Play app, and straight up you're in Ghost of Tsushima, you're playing. And this is a great way to test your latency before you invest in like the PlayStation Portal or the backbone, just to see if you're mainly going to be playing at your home. Just try this out actually even in your city, like if you're just out and about, see how PlayStation Remote Play is, because that's more than likely going to be the same experience you're getting on definitely the backbone. And PlayStation Portal, in my experience, is just as hit and miss as using your PlayStation Remote Play on your phone. Test it out. You don't even need to buy this $15 accessory. Literally just mount your phone anywhere on your home, get your DualSense controller, try it out. Play your games in a different room in your house, in whatever room you anticipate playing your Portal in or your backbone, and basically you have a perfect DualSense controller, not even similar. Like, this is definitely more comfortable than the Portal even, and this does not cost you any extra investment, so you can literally try it out anywhere in your home. And what's funny is this existed for a long time before the PlayStation Portal. A lot of people, including myself, just didn't know that PlayStation Remote Play was a thing until the PlayStation Portal, the hype around it, made us all aware. So yeah, I'm gaming, and that's what it's like, guys. I can't see anything. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, there you go. PlayStation Remote Play. And yeah, that's the recommendation there. Definitely for latency, I'm gonna talk about my specific experience at the very end, but I'm on 8 gigabit internet speed, so my experience is not going to be indicative of yours. Best way is try it out at your home using your existing controller, see what it's like in different rooms, and then consider obviously getting this if you really want it, or maybe the $15 accessory if you really don't anticipate yourself playing on it a lot. And the way you can test that is just try this. When someone else is playing in your house on your TV, just go to your room, play on this, and see what it's like. Or in the living room even, while they're watching whatever. Just put on your AirPods, start playing right next to them, see what it's like, see if you enjoy the experience. And in all likelihood, if you don't enjoy this experience, you're probably not going to enjoy the PlayStation Portal experience, and you're probably not going to enjoy the Backbone neither. Especially considering the Backbone is just not as comfortable as using your DualSense controller, nor the PlayStation Portal. So that's it. I just wanted to add that in there, because that's very relevant to anyone who's looking to decide between these. If you found any of this useful so far, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. I'll be posting more content like this, a lot of PlayStation relevant content, a lot of tech content in general. And now I'll walk into the main advantages and disadvantages of each, but if you stick through the end, we'll also touch on the ROG Ally here. So this is a handheld gaming PC, and I'll compare it to basically my experience with these two. I'm not a PC gamer, by the way, so from the perspective of someone who only plays PlayStation, pretty much. Alright, main advantages, PS Portal, bigger screen. I value the bigger screen over the smaller 6.7-inch displays of my iPhone or of my Pixel 8 Pro. Having the extra inches on the screen makes a world of difference for me when I'm playing Call of Duty, when I'm playing even Ghost of Tsushima or any game. It's easier to see stuff in the distance, and I appreciate it more than I do appreciate having an OLED display. Do I wish it was an OLED display? Sure, yeah, that would have been amazing. And I also wish it was 120 Hz, but I don't believe it's 120 Hz even on your phones, because the limitation there is from the PlayStation Remote Play app, not necessarily the devices or the hardware itself. Now, the second reason you'd want to go with the PlayStation Portal, the controller. It feels like you're playing on a DualSense controller, right? It's basically a DualSense controller with a screen in the middle. The analog sticks are slightly smaller, but for all intents and purposes, for me, it feels just like I'm playing on my DualSense controller, albeit with a little more discomfort, but barely, right? I can play on this for hours, no problem. Whereas I cannot do that with the Backbone because it's super flat, which makes it more portable, but the con there, of course, is you can get finger cramps. It can just get uncomfortable if you're playing for too long. It definitely didn't play too long on this, like max an hour. And it's also draining your phone battery, right? I think that's it. It's the big screen and the fact that it's got the DualSense controller form factor. To me, yeah, looks just as good as the Samsung Neo G7. And this one's 4K. In terms of cons for the PlayStation Portal, for some reason it doesn't have a browser, so if you try to connect to the internet at a hotel or something where it requires you to log in, you can't do that. You need it to be able to connect directly without a login portal. So big L there for the PlayStation Portal, because that severely limits where you can take this. Number two, another L is it's not that portable, of course, but to me that's a win. Actually, I kind of like the fact that it's just like holding a regular controller, and that's what reduces the portability, and I like that the screen is big. So I don't really consider it an L that it's not that portable. I appreciate the fact of how big it is, at least because I'm primarily using it in the home. And if I really wanted it to be portable, well, it already exists. The Backbone existed well before the PlayStation Portal, so you'll always have your phone on you. You could just plug it in here, and I'm glad Sony didn't just recreate this with a screen in it, because that would have been more portable, but that also would have just been literally a Backbone that can only play PlayStation games. And so that's where, boom, this big form factor comes into play, giving you a nice experience that's almost as identical as playing on your TV, granted at a lower frame rate and not 4K. Not that you notice a difference at this screen size. Another L is the speakers are firing forward, so if you're playing outside or whatever, it's shooting the sound directly at whomever is across from you. And it only connects to PlayStation Pulse earbuds, so the Pulse Explorer and the Pulse Elite headset, PlayStation Link proprietary technology to link to the Portal. You can, however, bypass that by buying these Bluetooth transmitters. Again, make sure you get a Bluetooth transmitter, and then you plop it into the auxiliary in the back here. bam, you're able to connect your AirPods, you're able to connect your Sony WF-1000XM5s, whatever truly wireless earbuds you have. And the lag isn't really that noticeable. I barely notice the difference between using this and between using the AirPods Pro or the Sony WF-1000XM5s on the transmitter. So there's that. There's also another option, of course, from Ugreen. The Ugreen option, though, it dangles a bit from the back there. So you see how it's dangling? Yeah, I would just go with this no-name brand option, C28 transmitter. Yeah, so I don't know why they didn't include the Bluetooth. Pretty big L, especially considering if I'm out and about, I would want to have noise canceling. So I'd probably want to use my AirPods Pro versus using the Pulse Explorer earbuds, which in my experience, a pretty low max volume, and then they don't have noise canceling at that. So pretty big miss there from Sony. Just an additional note on if you're looking to connect any earbuds to your PlayStation Portal, as long as you're within Bluetooth range of your PlayStation, you can use whatever headset you want. So I'm using the Turtle Beach Stealth Pros. You're not exactly limited to just the PlayStation Link earbuds, right? Like this one or the new PlayStation Pulse Elite headset. So yeah, if you know you're gonna be playing at home, you don't necessarily need these. And like I said, you also have your Bluetooth adapter transmitters if you really wanna use whatever earbuds outside of the home. And yeah, I guess another relative L for the PlayStation Portal is you can't play games offline like you can play mobile games on the backbone, of course. You can just grab whatever mobile game and play offline, download the game. But this one is just streaming games. Again, I do not think this is the solution for you if you're looking to play your games outside of the home. I think this is if you're just looking to play in the home and you not necessarily don't want to sit in front of your TV wherever your PlayStation's set up every time. And me, again, as someone with access to my TV and my monitor, and I can easily switch the PlayStation between both, and I have access to the TV and the monitor at all times, I still find myself using this in the bedroom upstairs because convenience. The Verge said it perfectly, right? It's like an air fryer. I will use my air fryer even though I have an oven. That's because it's convenient to do so. It cooks it in half the time. I don't need to wait for it to preheat, etc. Granted, on the PlayStation, it's barely a difference, but just seeing this lying around, pressing it and getting into the game inside of like 2-3 minutes and playing, it's a game changer. And this is as someone who wasn't originally sold on this. All right, now jumping straight to the backbone here. Main advantages, of course, are portability. Number 2, you have the Backbone app, which is paid, but it's free for the first year. Backbone app gives you a central location to access all your Xbox games, all your PlayStation games, all your mobile games, Apple Arcade, etc. Almost like the PlayStation Home. And you're not restricted to just PlayStation games, right? So it's a big W there. The second W is that you're using your phone. With your phone, you always have it on you. You can always use your earbuds because you don't need to rely on the Sony PlayStation Link technology to use earbuds, and you're gaming right away. You'll always have your earbuds on you. You'll always have your phone on you. You just need to remember to bring the Backbone, and it's pretty small, so you can put it in your jacket pocket. You're off to the races. Also, you're using your phone's high quality display, which is OLED, and you're saving money, right? The money you're saving is because your phone is a lot of expensive hardware, so you're benefiting from that. If you have a bigger screen phone, you can benefit from a bigger screen. I don't think a lot of people have phones bigger than the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Pixel 8 Pro though. It's probably more or less the same size as these in most people's pockets. Jumping onto the cons for the Backbone, number 1, it's occupying your phone. So if you want to exit your game app, you're gonna have to suspend the game and then reconnect to your PlayStation. So you're gonna have to reconnect every time you exit the app. Granted, after you're connected initially, it's super quick. Like it's literally 2-3 seconds and it'll jump back into the game. But if you're playing Call of Duty or playing an online game, again, edge case there because it's not the best experience to play Call of Duty or any competitive multiplayer game over PS Remote Play. But if you're doing so, obviously the PlayStation Portal is better. Number 1, for the comfort and ergonomics of the controller, but number 2, because you don't have to keep exiting if you want to respond to someone over text, or like you get a call, or you want to play a podcast. I don't know what you want to do with your phone, but presumably you'd want access to it. But you see, like we just went in there. We turned on our PlayStation and we're in the game playing Ghost of Tsushima right away. You gotta love the fact that there's no load times these days and technology has come so far. It's like crazy that we can play PlayStation games on the go like this and just stream them from our home. Anyway, I digress. Another L here for the Backbone is you can get hand cramps because of the fact that it's so flat. But then again, that makes it more portable, right? So you give and you take. So I don't know if that's really an L, because a lot of people were saying, oh, the PS Portal is so massive, I wish it was smaller and more like a PlayStation Vita. Well, why would Sony have done that when literally the Backbone exists and you could just use your phone? Like, why would Sony have recreated the Backbone and then just limited it to playing PlayStation games? It would have been worse in every way than this, almost. Whereas by going for a bigger screen and a more chunkier controller that's more like the DualSense and trying to give you the same experience you're having on your TV as much as possible. They managed to differentiate its utility quite a bit from the backbone, right? Yeah, like benefits here of the backbone are clear. And the cons are clear as well. You give and you take with either of these options. The backbone isn't too expensive. I believe it's about like $80 or something like that. Again, you can get it on sale sometimes even. You can get this optional case with it so you don't mess up your controls when you're taking this on the go. Just pop it in your jacket pocket. You're done. Again, I do like them both. I like the PlayStation Portal. I like the backbone. I see the utility for each. Again, pros and cons for each have been listed. Now let's talk about the lag experience. Again, this is extremely subjective. I had a gigabit internet connection with Bell, my provider here in Ontario, and it worked great. Did it stutter a few times? Was the experience mid on Call of Duty, like lagged a bit? Like Call of Duty wasn't really playable all that well. I upgraded to 8 gigabit per second just to see. The big thing that made a difference wasn't really the increase in speed, but decreasing the number of devices on the network. So when I sold some iPhones that I had lying around and like other devices that were connected to the internet, I just disconnected them. The less traffic you have on the network, the more seamless I find the experience of PlayStation Remote Play is on either the PlayStation Portal or your phone. And the difference between playing on your phone, PS Remote Play on the backbone, or on the PS Portal, for me, in terms of the lagginess and how quickly it gets set up, it's more or less identical. So that wasn't really a difference, but again, I can be on the same internet different day and get a different experience on both the PlayStation Portal and on PS Remote Playing on my phone. There's just too many variables, right? Number of devices, time of day, whether you're getting your full speed at the time. I'm connected to an Ethernet on my PlayStation. This is 8 gigabit internet speed, right? I imagine most people are on way less speeds than that. But it was, for all intents and purposes, working almost as good on 1 gigabit. So I don't think it's the extra speed that's really making the difference in the experience here. It's the number of devices on the network, I would say, probably has a bigger impact. Jumping into the ROG Ally. Now the ROG Ally is a handheld gaming PC, can operate games locally. Obviously you can play them over Steam, Xbox, and you can play PS Remote Play. Yeah, obviously it's 3 times the price of the PS Portal here, so it's about $600. Sometimes it goes on sale for a couple $100 off or $100 off. It's got back buttons here, so kind of like a PlayStation Edge controller, but it's a lot flatter. It's not as ergonomic as the PlayStation Portal. But it is a handheld gaming PC, and me as someone who doesn't use PC and is primarily just a PlayStation gamer, it was a pain and hassle of several hour long over multiple days to get the game set up on this. It took long to download the games. It took forever to download software updates on multiple different applications to get it ready for gaming. But once it's set up, it's pretty great to be able to jump into a game and have it run locally on the device. I was playing Dead Space on this, and for all intents and purposes, the hardware on this obviously is not like your console. It's not on par with console gameplay, I don't think, because it's not 4K 120 Hz capable, but it is capable of up to 120 Hz at 720p. Granted, I've never been able to hit that. The most I can hit is on like Dead Space, for example, was 60 FPS, 720p. It still looks great. The sound from these speakers is amazing, just firing straight at you, which is what I think should have somehow been implemented here. The sound quality on these speakers is like way better than the iPhone and Pixel 8 Pro and the PlayStation Portal in my experience, if you are playing without a headset. Also, you can play with whatever Bluetooth earbuds you want. Now, let me compare the direct experience here. Playing Dead Space on this locally via downloading it from Steam versus playing Dead Space on my PlayStation Portal and streaming it over PlayStation Remote Play, it is more or less the same, I want to say. This will stutter playing it locally just as much as this might stutter while you're streaming it. The controls when you're moving around, it is definitely less laggy, but then it'll occasionally stutter and stuff, so you're giving up on that. I would say overall I prefer the PlayStation Portal for gaming. Like, same game, do I want to play it on this or do I want to play it on the PlayStation Portal? If I have access to internet, I will want to play it on the PlayStation Portal. Number one, for the ergonomics. Number two, because most of my games are on PlayStation. And yeah, like those two primary reasons, plus the performance on here and not having to deal with, oh, I gotta download the game. Oh, do I have enough space in my SD? Do I need to get a memory card that may or may not work? Allow me to play my game from my memory card because it's only 512 gigabytes. There's so many considerations here. To me, this is more frustrating than anything. I'm glad it exists. I hope they only make it better from here and they make the user experience a lot better, but I do do believe this is what PC gamers have to deal with in general. There's a lot of troubleshooting, figuring out if your game is compatible with your PC, and all this other stuff that I just personally do not have the time for. I'm barely able to keep up with my PlayStation exclusive games, which I love, and I definitely love the Portal for allowing me to play it from my bedroom whenever I want, anywhere in the home. Without digressing much more, the PlayStation Portal is a safe buy, the PlayStation Backbone is a safe buy, this is safe buys, and I'll catch you on the next video, guys.